Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Inside Line podcast, produced by the Snow Sports Industries of America, SIA. My name's Kristin Carpenter, and I'm the founder of Verity Brand Communications. We are partnered to SIA, and hello to my esteemed co-host, Nick Sargent. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's snowing out there. It's winter. It's go time.
Yep. All of that equals happiness in Nick Sargent's world. And as our audience knows, the shows of 2026 are all about introducing you to change makers. And Nick, I am pretty sure you are just as excited as I am to introduce today's guest, who I think perfectly embodies the notion of a change maker.
100%. We have a really special guest, actually, and Helmut is a friend of mine, and but beyond that, his pedigree and his experience in this industry is bar none the best. And if you don't know Helmut, do yourself a favor and meet him. But let me introduce Helmut and give our audience just a little snapshot of why we're speaking to Helmut and why you should be watching this podcast. So Helmut is the director of anticipation and advanced research at Atomic Skis. A lot of you will say, I don't even understand what that means. Is that a fast company title? But Helmut is a visionary leader who has spent decades driving innovation at Atomic Skis, one of the world's largest ski manufacturers, if you don't know that already. And as director of anticipation and advanced research, he embodies the intersection of technical excellence, sustainability, leadership, and industry collaboration. He's also the founder of the Ski Industry Climate Summit, which is called the Atomic Climate Summit. And he's leading the Wind Trust Recycling Project, which positions him uniquely as one of the most influential change makers working to secure the future of winter sports. He is someone who isn't just watching the ski industry evolve. He's actively rewriting the future. And so this is what makes this conversation really exciting. And really, it gets me excited about this conversation. So welcome, Helmut. But before we get in, I want to say, I've known Helmut for a few years now. Really exciting person, a game changer, a mover, a shaker. When I first met Helmut, I was really inspired and awestruck by your motivation and your interest in all that you've done. So much that we've invited him on the board of SIA in full transparency as well. And he helps us at SIA with a really strong European perspective, but most importantly, a much larger global perspective. So Helmut, thanks for joining the podcast.
Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
I would love to dig in a little bit to that amazing title of yours, Helmut. Can you talk with us about, your time at Atomic and how you have earned that title?
Yeah, my time at Atomic, it's more than 35 years I am with Atomic now. I originally started as a first product manager at Atomic in the late 80s, but my heart was always a little bit research and development. And in 2000, around 2000, then the head of R&D asked me, to join the R&D team. And then my focus was always more this, what is coming next? Inventions. I'm the first contact of inventors. And then I'm also doing a lot of base research in all categories for all our products. So, and that's the name. And finally, I proposed the name to the general manager and said, I'm doing anticipation, I'm doing base research. So that's the reason, or advanced research. And that's the reason why I came to the title. So it's fine. I created it by myself, and nobody have changed it. So, and that's the way. And anyway, in this area, even in the late 90s, in the 2000s, sustainability was already there a little bit. We have, for me, this is, I would say, the third time or third wave of sustainability. We had something in the early 2000 and 2010, 11. There was sustainability on my agenda, and now since a couple of years, sustainability is on my agenda.
That's incredible. And honestly, what I love most about the title isn't about like just the notion of anticipation. It's the fact that it pulls together so many parts of the atomic organization and processes. And ultimately, it's pointing the arrows in the right direction, right? And I imagine there's a lot of change, and I'm imagining you have to dance on your feet quite a bit with everything you're managing over there.
That's right. But, that's also maybe also to my stand, as I'm now 35 years in the company. For me, it's quite easy in this organization because I know everybody. And if even young guys are coming in and they know, okay, they have to contact me if there's something going wrong, and either I know it or I know who knows it. So that's sometimes also my activity, and it's good.
And to that end, I can attest that Helmut does know everyone in his 35 years, but it's also he knows everyone within the Ammer company. So that includes Solomon, Arc'teryx, Armada, as well. So when you talk to your colleagues at Solomon and Arc'teryx and whatever, Helmut's name comes up in conversation. So his reach is vast and well respected, which makes this conversation doubly as fun.
Doubly as fun. I would love to just dive right in while we have you here, Helmut, and I'd love to have you tell us the founding story of this Atomic Climate Summit, how that was founded, and I think it leads the conversation really nicely in terms of collaboration.
Finally, as I said, in it was 2017, 2018, I realized that sustainability is coming on the table. So I have seen, especially on the compliance side, laws are changing, but also activities in the field are changing. And then as I was realizing that, during the management meeting, I said to our general manager, okay, yes, I think we have to do something. And then finally he said, then do it. So and then finally, together with, at that time, I did not have a team on sustainability. We were sitting together. I had then my first a student approaching me. He asked me, okay, I'm allowed to make a master thesis? Yeah. Then I said, yes, helps me because I need any help. Then the second student came in and she said also, okay, can we do a master? Can I do a master thesis? And I said, yes, I need somebody. And finally, with these two students and then with one guy from the marketing department, we were reaching out to an external agency to find out, okay, what are our key pillars for our strategy? And after back and forth in validating, we realized, okay, one part out of three is definitely the collaboration within the industry, the collaboration to our racers, the collaboration to competitors for sure. And that was kind of the idea where we said, yes, how to do it. And based on that, we defined then, yes, it would make sense to start with a seminar or a kind of small event. And we were not sure at that time, okay, if many people are approaching. As I know quite a lot of the competitors, we were phoning back and forth, sending emails back and forth, and finally everybody was quite impressed that we are doing it. Nobody was at that level at that time as we were on sustainability. And finally then we decided, yes, we go for it. And we tried to do it with a low budget version at the first one. It was at the university in Salzburg at early September. Normally you have students there. We were there. And finally, even in the first event, 150 people came to the event. So, and that was a super success. And finally, we decided then, anyway, we were always open. So it's not, for sure, it's an atomic event, but we try to keep it very open. So we invited PAL, Protect Our Winter. We had collaborations with FESI, the Federal Association of the European Sporting Good Industry, SA, Nick. So we try now to bring all the people together. For sure, it is our event, but we don't promote it like, it's that we have everywhere atomic banners. So we try to make it as neutral as possible. But for sure, we are driving it, we are organizing it, and now, we are even a couple of days before the next event, which will be the third one, because the second one we had in Munich. It's now a year and a month ago. That was in December 24, and now we decided, okay, next collaboration with another fair, and we go to the Bolzano fair, or Bolzano in Italy, where we have our next event.
I have to say, I came aware of the Atomic Climate Summit years ago, and we discussed it internally, a lot of conversations back and forth, with Helmut and his team, and we participated in the first one, and to Helmut's credit, there was over 140 or 150 people in major brands from across the industry: Rosenthal, Head, Salomon, Vocal, and then a number of snowboard companies as well: Capita, Burton, Nidecker, and then retailers: Decathlon, Sport Conrad, Brundle, and then other organizing groups: European Outdoor Group, ourselves, SIA, FESI, all these which Helmut mentioned. But I think the significance here was that through Atomic's leadership and guidance, and Helmut's being humble, Atomic is not paying for this and anything, but they're using all their sweat equity and resources to put this together. And it really has demonstrated the potential for the industry to collaborate. And, in the 35 years that I've been doing this, it's hard to say that I've been doing it that long as well. But it's absolutely amazing to see all the competition is left outside the door. The swords are leaning against the wall, and the shields, and everyone comes in with the same interest to learn, and really discuss ways that our industry can progress. And the unity displayed in driving these collaborative and collective efforts to protect the environment and the climate and the winter sports that we, our careers are based on, our income, the way that we live our lives and support our families. It really is inspiring, and it's grown over the first year to the second year, and we're just on the forefront of going to Bolzano to dig in and roll our sleeves up. And so the momentum has been amazing. And so I, wanted to say, Helmut, to you and your team, thank you for organizing this. And, and each member and each person is carrying their own weight. And it is an exciting and time together. But maybe you could really help us, a little bit around, where do you see as the future of the Atomic Climate Summit, and where do you think it's going to go in the next 2 to 3 years? I plan to be there, but I'm interested to know what's on your mind.
First of all, I will come back a little bit to your approach. We were also a little bit lucky because, as you know, there are not anymore these big ski fairs. For example, the ISPO, where all the ski industry is coming together, or SIA, the snow shows, the snow show. So that helped us a little bit finally, because as we made the first event, it came up that the people said, now we are meeting at least once more on one place. So they were happy at least to exchange, and we talked about, and finally, there were only, I would say there were sustainability. I would say not that many sustainability experts at the first one, because, even if I look into my organization and our organization, I had at least my students, which are not anymore the students, they are now members of my team. But other companies, for example, they had, the quality, the head of quality was there, the head of, product management was there, head of R&D were there. They did not have dedicated people at the first event. So that's, and now, everybody has involved every company have involved their organization. Now we have experts in different companies, and now even the talk and the exchange is quite more in depth. That's that was the past. So what's the future? We have tried to do the two events so far at the same level. So we have mainly ski industry, but also snowboarders, as Nick mentioned. And for sure, we have some suppliers, we have some buying groups, and now we try to make it broader, because it's not only we as the ski manufacturer or binding or boot manufacturers have the issues, but also the surrounding. So that means also we try to make it open and to discuss where together with a broader audience, we are able to improve or to change the world into the right direction. So that's the idea where we want to go. We do this year the first step. There are special sessions, especially during this event, more outside. We have also special pieces on more on the racing scene. So we try to extend that, and we see how far we are able to go. We will not make it also too big, because otherwise it's not manageable. So we are doing everything internally. So we're doing it with our own team. So we don't have external agencies. So we have a strong internal marketing team, event manager. So and also we have with our sustainability team, or with my sustainability team, we are able to still to manage. We will make it not as a 1,000 people event. So it will be. I don't know how many. I've just heard the latest information that the participation rate is quite good. We changed a little bit the way how we are doing the event this year, but I think we are on the right way, around 180, 200 people, because that's kind of, at least, because key point for us is also talking, this collaboration. It's making presentation, but also have a lot of time to exchange with the others. What they are doing, what we can do together, what works, what is not working. So that's our approach.
I have a quick question that I think you're very unique in terms of your ability to answer. Maybe the most unique person I've ever been able to ask this question to. But how do you maintain momentum with a stakeholder group like that when change is so difficult?
Yeah, it's not easy. How the momentum is also not really in favor on sustainability. As you know, I think also Nick showed it in one of his studies. In USA, sustainability was ranked, I think, number 3, 1 year ago. Now it's moving down. We know it also on the European side. Sustainability is not anymore ranked at the highest level. It's even I think in the European Union, it's number 6. It's a goal. So it's ranked a little bit lower. Nevertheless, everybody knows, and I think everybody have experienced it, either in Europe, but also, Nick, I have heard that you had bad snow conditions this year, boys. So I think everybody understands that we have to do something. At least it's a small part, but if we are in this industry, we have to do at least those things what we are able to do, and that's we try to do with either for sure with collaborations with research projects together, with exchange, and I see it, or we see it, and that's quite impressive because I'm now 35 years in the industry, and it was always a fight between the brands. But the sustainability, this is not a fight. This is understanding. This is common approach. For sure, there will be the one or the other companies doing some specific things, but nevertheless, it's a common understanding that we have to do something and not take sustainability as a marketing advantage.
I mean, it's a great conversation, and it is one that we definitely focus on at the climate summit, and and it really is about the future of winter sports and building climate as an initiative or sustainability, however you choose to identify it within your company. But I will just tag on to a comment that Helmut made. In the beginning, the first year, you may have had one or two people from each company being represented. Now we're seeing, upwards of 6 to 8 people, sustainability teams from these companies coming to discuss the impact of climate. And here in Park City, Utah, we're challenged for snow, and we got some snow last night and it looks nice out there, but we are well below the norm here. And that is one of those existential threats that, we're snow farmers at the end of the day. We're reliant on the commodity of snow. And, we have to continue to evolve that innovation process and the materials and manufacturing to do our part to lean into how the product is built and used for the consumer and then future consumers and participants. So it's all in the same conversation.
And I also really have so much respect for what you've built, and I'd love to hear your take on the Wind Trust project, and also tying in with the Climate Summit, the way you're bringing in retail. Like, you are essentially opening the door to consumers and enabling and empowering, I think, the point of entry, the legacy point of entry for consumers around this too. So if you're okay with it, we would love to also get your take on the circular economy work that you're doing, because I think that is also just such an important hand in glove, part of this conversation.
Yeah, circular economy, honestly, we have a lot of ideas, but it's not easy. And even look to the big players maybe in the apparel industry. Everybody is talking about circular economy, and but if you see them, even the big players, okay, they have their issues. Anyway, what we try to do together with, as said, for example, the Wind Trust project or even other collaborations is, okay, to understand what is possible, to try and fail, for sure. Sometimes we are trying and failing. Sometimes there are even internal constraints, because, for example, if I try to collect some old stuff and then operations said to me, okay, sorry, this is too expensive. Okay, we can't do it because we have to look to the profit. So it's a hard job. We do a lot. We do together a lot, but it's still a long way. So there are small pieces we are doing, but it's that's also the reason why we are meeting, collaborating to understand how others are doing. I've seen others are doing here and there some activities, but the big part is not there, because this circular economy is, for example, only, I don't know exactly, less than 5% of the impact what we are able to change. the biggest impact is coming from the raw material, definitely from the raw material, from our suppliers, and then for sure for the production. But as said, circular economy activities are very low rated. But we have to do it because we have to start to learn and fail. As I said, we are failing.
It's a huge undertaking, and none of this comes easy. There's a lot of cost, a lot of resources that are needed to justify, validate, and create these opportunities. And if you think of all your favorite ski towns that you've been to and you've driven through, and you see all the ski fences or the ski furniture, I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like, how do we reduce waste and how do we repurpose materials? We do have regulations that are coming out of the EU and North America that are affecting the materials and the way the product is built, that we are addressing within the guidelines of antitrust and staying above board, but without sharing secrets. But it's this is a global issue. Apparel and fashion are addressing the same as well, and we've seen a lot of reuse, resale sites, whether it's manufacturer or secondary, tertiary sites that are selling product and trying to maximize the use and the length of its life cycle before you recycle. But we are tackling this, and we certainly have an entire industry focused on this, but it's going to take time, and nothing comes quick.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm jumping into, because you mentioned costs. Quite a lot of those projects are for sure at the first stage costs. Mm-hmm. But we had also some really nice internal good stories where finally, based on thinking a little bit differently, even we were able to save money in certain areas. It's just small money, but it's something what we are able to save. The biggest issue regarding the cost, and coming back once more to the cost, is the scaling. It must be always, we have to think about always so big. We had one project what we estimated in Europe regarding take back of skis, and to be profitable, we need to take back around 400,000 pairs of skis per year. And it's a huge amount. Even we know that we are selling maybe altogether, I don't know, in Europe, 2.5 million. I don't know the numbers exactly. Nevertheless, it's just a certain part of it. But, it's not so easy to get those products. And, the scaling is the biggest issue. So, and that's the reason why scaling is only also possible with collaboration with dealers, with organizations, because then we are maybe able to get all those volumes where then the cost, which we will get back, it's something where we can say, okay, the materials which we will bring back into the production, it's in a level where it's acceptable. So, and that's the biggest issue. And then for sure, even Europe is small compared to US in regarding the sizing. You have to think. You can't bring it back to only one spot. You have to bring it back to different spots. You cannot ship around all these old scrap skis. You need a spot. Maybe if I talk in US on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in the middle. You need at least 3 places. In Europe, the same. You have central, then you have north, you have south, west. So, and then to get it back, you need the collaboration. That at a certain time, the cost, you have a cost benefit, or at least you are not spending a lot of money into this project.
Yeah, I mean, the scaling up is certainly a huge conversation, and then just making those small incremental changes to your business. And again, it all adds up, and it's probably good practice to do that anyway. But I just pulled some numbers off the internet, so these aren't specific to Atomic, but these are just numbers, industry numbers, just to put scale out there. Approximately 1.8 million pair of skis, 2.3 million pair of ski poles, 1.4 million ski helmets are sold in Austria every 5 years. That's not brand specific. Those are just general numbers. So most end up as bulky waste and are wasting valuable resources. So just to come around and put it into perspective of, taking a look at your own company's operations and where you could scale or redistribute resources. I mean, that's what we're talking about. And that's just one country. And, the US is in a much larger position, and it is a much larger country, obviously. So we've got regionality that we have to work with. But these are the issues that we are working with. And, with Helmut's leadership and interdisciplinary consortium of developing recycling methods for winter sports equipment, as a way to close those loops. Like those are the topics that we are discussing. Those are, the issues that we are working on and contemplating, just to kind of round it out.
I also think it's important, Nick, just looking at the two of you, with Helmut sitting in Austria and you sitting in Park City, United States. I would love to also just talk about, the collaborative approach and how SIA is working to help collaborative thinkers and leaders like Helmut and brands in the industry to, I think, affect change in the United States and North America.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we're separated by a big body of water right now, but we were sitting across the table from each other about a month ago and having this very same conversation over some schnitzel. And I mean, I look at it, in a couple different ways. And one is from a regional perspective, but then I very much look at it from a global perspective. And, it really is, how can SIA help these industries adapt to existential threats? And how can SIA lend its horsepower, resources, voice, actions, to add to the power of collaborative discussion and reduce that competitive discussion. You can take your discussion back to your shop and your home and talk about competitive ways. But while we're in this global discussion around collaborative ways, we really want to balance that innovation and the tradition that this industry has created over the last 75, 80 years. And we do this because we're passionate. We love winter. We love snow. We enjoy the elements that being outside do for your mind and your body and your soul. That might sound a little corny, but that's 100% accurate, no matter who you talk to. But I think if you really want to hit the nail on the head, we are looking at an industry and leadership in times of crisis of how can we help get through these issues? How can we evolve? And really, how can we create movements, not just around product, but around the industry, around regions, so we can really do our best effort as it comes to innovation and climate. So, we're all in, eyeball deep in this space, and having the ability to have forums like what Helmut and Atomic have created gives us the ability to stretch and flex and think and challenge one another. And I think at the end of the day, it doesn't take a group. It just takes one person to really have an idea and be able to pull everyone together. And that's what Helmut has done with his team. And we really value that. And Helmut's earlier comments, this is a larger group now, and this is taking on a new life form. And it's not all about the issue. It's about the networking. It's about sharing thoughts, sharing ideas, and having that forum that you can speak openly. And some of the conversation isn't fun. It's difficult, but it's needed. And that's what this forum has created for us. And so that's kind of where SIA is uniquely positioned here in the US, but also globally, to help be a conduit and take that information for those that, don't travel outside the US and share what's happening. And then vice versa, take that knowledge from North America, US, and bring that to Europe and share perspectives there. So that has really been a strong place for SIA to play from.
Helmut, did you have anything you wanted to chat about in terms of maybe how you might see a next step, or anything that our audience, which is largely North America based, we do have some listeners obviously in your neck of the woods, but this is your chance to potentially, engage some people and have them join the fight.
It's a difficult question, but I think the key point is, as I mentioned it before, and it's also why we have this one pillar, this collaboration. I think, and we learned it also during as we started with the summit, it was at the very beginning more a kind of, presentation, for sure, a little bit of a talk. Now it's really exchanging heavily, it's changing completely. And I think, everybody should get out of his own comfort zone, collaborate with the others. And I think only with this, it's possible to act together. So, what I also learned, I was a little bit surprised, also being now in this SIA board group, I'm the only European, but what I also learned that there is still there's still the European world and the US world, and not all the information are coming in both directions. So and that's also why Nick is doing a great job exchanging, getting those things which are happening in Europe, bringing it to US, to the auditorium, which is now in this meeting, but also vice versa. He's bringing in, because he will be also present next week some latest activities, what's happening in USA, especially this. We didn't talk a lot about compliance or regulations. This is a huge topic, and it's that's even my biggest part of my job at this stage. My team is working on getting better product, changing here and there with the development teams, working on improving the production with lower carbon emission. My job mainly, as it's a little bit tricky, it's somewhere between the lawyers and regulations and compliance, and also learning. And it's so funny when laws are popping up. For sure, sometimes we are acting not too fast, but then it's there, and then we have to have the shit on the table, I would say, because that's right, And then on the other side, we are sometimes lucky in Europe at this stage. They created so many laws, and then at the day before, they are saying, okay, tomorrow it's live. They say, oh, it's postponed. So it helps us, but still a lot of things are going on. If I look to Compliance USA, PFAS, or Lazy Act, and all those things, we are working, we have prepared it, but this is a hard job, and it's also very important always to exchange, because We have experts in USA. They have much deeper dive in all the laws because it's not easy. As in Europe, you have different states. Every state is doing something differently, having the same idea but doing differently, especially in papers, for example. EPRs are coming up now with packaging waste, product treatments. So it's the same situation. US with the states, Europe with the different countries. Looking to France, looking to Italy, looking to Denmark, which are popping up. Spain, even not really states are doing activities, more nationalities which are doing some special laws. So it's super crazy. So that's I think important is to get always the latest information, a good flow, and the collaboration. That's I see it's very important.
That's a solid foundation. And I will say, I think it's fair to call you an industry statesman, Helmut. And I want to just say also that the way that our industry community globally looks at trade organizations, nonprofits, and brands and retailers differently going forward is really also a first step before we build those three parts of the foundation you just discussed. And I would love to have, Nick, if you want to add anything in closing, just in terms of, there's a crisis at hand, and we have some really talented people who have put some great foundation work in place that we can all jump in and start to row it together in a direction more quickly. That's the hope.
Yeah, I mean, we are fortunate that we do have statesmen like Helmut. We have others within this industry that have deep industry knowledge and credibility. So, how do we leverage that? How do we strengthen our positioning here? As I said, there's a lot of passion in the room, but that's not going to save our sport. We have to take action. The Atomic Climate Summit is open to anyone in our industry. You just have to apply, and we'll put the link in the podcast here. And, we are actively encouraging more people to attend so we can explore deeper conversations. SIA is bringing a number of North American winter sport leadership to this next session next week, which we're proud of. And, there is such an amazing body of work around the sustainability regulations and compliance. And to Helmut's point, we're still the tip of the spear here, but it's not going away. We have to address it. And we are seeing some of our members being stung by a lack of commitment to regulation and compliance. And that's costing them, money and fines and time and resources. And so we have to continue to carry this forward. But beyond that, this is a way for our industry to come together, continue to network, continue to discuss and innovate and talk about advancements. And so this is, where we need to have more of a serious conversation. But the foundation has been laid. We're doing great work. We're there. We're rolling our sleeves up. We're not waiting for someone else to do this work. And, and SIA is leading that discussion, from both sides of the ocean here. But, we need everyone's help to continue to do it. So, I'm just happy that we have super strong leaders like Helmut, to work with. I'm really, really, proud of the team that SIA has that, are behind the scenes, that are leading this, and carrying this work forward as well every day. So, I'm looking forward to, the next evolution of this and bringing more people to the table.
And Helmut, you're always welcome to be on our platform and increase your reach. We're here to support your work. We believe strongly your work matters, and we're very inspired by it. So thank you once again for taking the time to join us today, sincerely.
Okay, thank you. And,
Thanks, Helmut. Appreciate it.
See you soon in March at Nick's event.
Yes,
That's right.
we definitely will.
So I guess a failed plug. SIA is hosting the Global Summit in March at Snowbird, March 23 to 25. It's very similar in nature to the Atomic Climate Summit, and it's a way that we as an industry can get together, continue these conversations, include more people who might not be able to travel as far and as frequently, but again, network, enjoy one another, engage in deep conversation, have fun skiing and riding as well. So yes, we'll see you next week, Helmut, and then we're going to see you in March here at Snowbird. So looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks again for your time.
Okay, great.
Thanks, everyone.